It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. First show, kickoff. We got Michigan State later in the day. In the evening, Michigan, Ohio State play today. We'll go through all the premier college matchups, but we have a few special people in the room today. We'll shout out Michael in the TD booth. What's up, Mike? Good morning, buddy.
Yo.
How you doing, Michigan Slappy?
Oh, I'm good.
Ever see J.J. McCarthy whoop some ass?
Oh, yeah.
And then we got Booner in the guest chair. Booner, good morning, buddy. How are you doing?
Good morning.
You better have some good bets today.
I've got
a
some
lot
stuff
of pressure
for you
on you today. A lot of people want some money, so
we're gonna win some money today.
That's what they always say.
Hindsight 2020.
That's what they always say. All right, let's get it started. Whew. Michigan versus Hawaii. 52-point favorites. To be honest with you, there isn't much I can tell you about the game outside of Hawaii's probably going to get fucked. But there's a very special person that we need to talk about, and this is J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
So they're 52-point favorites. We all expect Michigan to win these games, right? You expect every team that schedules these type of games that are respectable, good teams to win these games. I'm not really too concerned about the score or if they're going to win or not. They're going to win. How much pressure is there on J.J. McCarthy to not just go out and play well? I don't think it's enough to just play well, 12 of 16, 150 yards and a touchdown or two, and they just run the ball all game. Like, he's going to have to make 3-4 spectacular plays, along with being very efficient, not turn the ball over. How much pressure is there on J.J. McCarthy for the first game?
I don't think there's any more pressure than he already puts on himself. And I think the benefit, J.J., when he saw the schedule and he saw he's facing Hawaii, he was jumping up and down. Like, between Colorado State or Hawaii, you get to face a team who, both times at home, were blown out. Now they're going to the big house. Like you said, they're 50-point underdogs. I don't think there's any pressure. A little pressure, but against Hawaii, a team that JJ should just easily get through. My only question is his performance against Hawaii enough for you to name him the starting quarterback? Because we know he should be the starting quarterback because of his upside, because of everything we've talked about on the show for weeks. But is blowing out Hawaii really the end-all, be-all here? Or you think this quarterback battle will carry into next week against UConn?
It's in J.J. McCarthy's hands. If he goes out and has a good performance, doesn't turn the ball over, and shows his dynamic ability, we've already seen him running the football, and the team is just clicking on offense even more than the first game, not even close.
And this would be the time to open up the playbook a little bit, too. Just let him sling it.
You can get away with Ronnie Bell getting one catch, Angelo Anthony one catch, Roman Wilson leading the team with 2 catches. Yeah, you could do it against Colorado State. Probably do it against Hawaii and all these other teams. But I think for what Michigan want to accomplish, JJ's going to have to come out and have a really good game. It's program changing. And, you know, there's a little bit of pressure for recruits tonight. 5-star quarterback, Jaden Davis, the number 21 overall prospect, the number 5 quarterback in the 2024 draft, college class. He's going to be there. He'll be there tonight. And you know what is very inspiring? For a young, dual-threat, athletic quarterback.
To see the same type
of quarterback. Not seeing a statue in the backfield and seeing somebody like a J.J. McCarthy, also a fellow 5-star quarterback. One of Michigan's most important things they can do tonight. It's not just win, but win in style. It actually does matter tonight. And you want to talk to me about how they lost Dante Moore, or Lloyd Carr's nephew, I believe, whoever it is. Mm-hmm. Or his grandson, excuse me.
His grandson.
How? What quarterbacks have Michigan fielded since Chad Henne? Let's just start there.
I mean, how many skill position players were first-round picks since
Last
Chad
one
Henne?
is
Braylon.
Dude sits in that chair. Braylon Edwards, the last wide receiver taken in the first round for Michigan. Skill position players, quarterbacks. Now look, I'm not saying Michigan needs to develop into quarterback university. Not at all. Ohio State is the anti-quarterback university for the NFL. But they have great
collegiate
and elite college quarterbacks. Yeah. And I don't care if you go to the NFL if you're a Michigan quarterback. I don't. Can you come to this school and be one of the 3, 4, 5, 6 best quarterbacks in the country? And if you are, boy, that takes Michigan to a whole new level. I don't think it's up for debate. J.J. McCarthy, I think there's a lot of pressure. I really do. He's going to have to come out because there's number 12 on his shoulder. And we all know what 12 gives his team.
Right.
Stability. He's not going to win you a football game. Probably not going to lose you it. That's it. He'll put you in a hole, not going to get you out of it. even if J.J. McCarthy turns the ball over at a higher ratio, or excuse me, more often than Cade, who is more capable of overcoming that?
JJ.
Did we not see Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford combined throw for 5 interceptions on Thursday night? The Bills still won. Their offense compensated for those turnovers. The defense obviously was phenomenal, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Josh Allen still had 4 touchdowns, still made plays. And had the Rams been able to have their way on offense, that's a much closer game. And you need the offense. Things make sense. No need to complicate them, man.
So for JJ's job, it's really not only being comfortable, but you seeing that upside that everyone's talking about, that taking risks, especially against Hawaii. Like you saw last week, Roman Wilson ended with 2 receptions. Like we got to see more out of this offense, and that's where the skill position players being taken in the first round comes into play. Because you look at the quarterback since Chad Henne, like. It's not only just getting a dynamic quarterback. It helps your receivers. Like Roman Wilson, Andrell Anthony, these guys can look even better, I think, with J.J. McCarthy. And I think it's a good game to prove that. Go out against Hawaii and drop 60 on them.
All right, well, let's look at the betting side. Booner,
Yep.
52-point favorites.
Yep.
There is a special promotion bet going on with FanDuel, right? They took it. If Michigan scores 62 points, you win that bet. And the way to do it, plus 130, they boosted it to plus 200.
Yep.
What are bets Michigan fans should be looking to get with this team today, or are we avoiding Michigan at all costs?
You know what? This morning I thought the same thing here to avoid the spread's at 50 or 51. I stay away from that. You don't know what's going to happen, but my take on it is I'm going to go the over in this game because JJ's coming in. Last week we saw JJ with his drives. He comes in, he scores right away. I think the offense is going to be different with the weapons he has around him. And I think you could look at a 42-0 game, 35-0 game at halftime when they start, if he does what he should do. It's his job to lose. I think he's going to go in and put a ton of points up. He has the weapons to do it. And this Hawaii team gave up like 62 points, I believe, versus Vanderbilt. So I'm rolling with the over in this game. It's at and that the promo that you said, I would take that all day. 62 points, I think they hit it. If Vanderbilt can do that versus Hawaii, I think Michigan can do it at the Big House, night game and all.
Okay. Mike, you hear that? That's your boy.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
We talk about him all the time on the podcast, man. How excited are you to see him tonight?
Oh no, I'm ready. It's long overdue. Cade's time's up, and no, like I said, I do think he's gonna come out and he's gonna light it up off rip. He has so many weapons around him and whatnot, and when he's on the field, the offense just spreads the field so much better. He can run the ball, but. He can run the ball, he can pass, but what are you laughing at?
This man, put the camera on.
I was like, what? I couldn't even focus. I was like,
you know what I noticed too watching Michigan last week is like these RPOs they run with Cade, like no one's biting on that.
I mean, I think you've all seen this clip.
No one's biting on that.
JJ was in the game. They ran an RPO.
Yeah.
He handed it off. And what happened to the 3 defensive linemen that were on the outside, on the right side? They collapsed in, and who'd they go to? JJ.
Yeah.
And that split second of indecision is all a running back needs to make it from the backfield upfield. That's it. That's all he needs. That's all he needs. So, Mike, I got to ask you. Your boy JJ starting tonight.
yep.
I think we all agree it's probably going to be a pretty damn good ass whooping.
Yeah.
Having said that, Mike, who starts in the second half? Who plays? Is it Bowman or Cade? And do you embarrass Cade by sending him out there in a 42-0 game?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I almost hope it's Bowman because I don't want to see Cade out there, and I don't want JJ to even like have him over his shoulder if he comes out and even has a good second half. Not like I think it will matter if they're blowing him out, but I just don't really want to see him. I would rather just see Bowman or somehow just see JJ play the whole game, but. I don't think that'll happen because they're probably going to blow them out.
Fair enough. Well, we'll move on from Michigan for now. We'll circle back later for game predictions. Michigan State, Akron. Another ass whooping waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Another huge favorite. I believe 34 and a half?
Yep.
Last I checked, 34 and a half point
34 and a
favorites.
half.
The Spartans tonight, or I should say this early afternoon. They play at 4:30.
4:30 game.
4:30 game,
4
8 p.m.
game.
for Michigan. I'm excited. I might have to head up to East Lansing today inaugurate myself with everybody. I can't, though. I have to work. So we'll take that back. Michigan State, I think, are going to pummel Akron. It's not even going to be close. But what to watch for is going to be the defensive line again. Jacoby Windman. What's he going to look like? Second game. The backfield. They look pretty damn good. They didn't miss a beat. I know Kenneth Walker's special. He was phenomenal. He is responsible for a lot of what you saw at Michigan State last year. But that backfield, they didn't miss a beat week 1. Game 2, again, lesser competition, but still. You should expect them to run all over Akron. And I think you'll see a better Peyton Thorne. A more I would say, a fluid Peyton Thorne. Someone who's going to go probably 20 of 26, 20 of 25, 213, 230 yards at most, 2 to 3 touchdowns. I think the run game really is going to set the tone for Michigan State. But the guy who's going to have the biggest game, Jaden Reed.
You took the words out of my mouth. I agree.
Quiet game against Western. He's going to explode against Akron. Watch out for him. And not just on offense, special teams. Watch him potentially running an end around. They're going to use his speed, and it's going to cause Akron problems. Jeff?
Yeah, you hit on it. For me, it was 2 things. I had it written down. It's the defensive line, and I'm looking at the wide receivers. I'm looking at Jaden Reed. He had 2 catches for 31 yards last week. He's going for over 100, I think, against Akron, easily. You had Keon Coleman, who was making plays last week, the dual basketball player and football player at Michigan State. But yeah, I think it's the Jaden Reed game. I'm looking at Jacoby Windman too, because I'm really excited. I mean, he had 4 sacks in his debut. How does he follow that up against a team like Akron? And of course that run game. I think the run game is going to be solid no matter what. I mean, Berger went for 120 last week. I think against Akron, he'll probably have another 100 in him. But yeah, like you said, you hit on it all. Peyton Thorne, I think he's going to bounce back, have an even better game. You saw last week that 50% completion percentage. He ain't doing it again. They're going to be fine. I'm looking at the wide receivers, like you said. Jaden Reed.
I'm glad you brought up wide receivers. Also, Jeremy Bernard, freshman wide receiver, immediate impact game 1.
Yeah.
Definitely has special talent. Like what I'm seeing there. But you're going to see a lot of youngsters playing this game probably. I think Michigan State really are going to come out absolutely pummel Akron. And what's going to happen is you're going to see Gaten Hauser play. You're going to see a lot of Jeremy Bernard. And, again, as much as I want to spend time breaking down Akron and what threats they may, they don't, and they shouldn't, and Michigan State should handle them. And I think the criticism of Michigan State was warranted the first game of the year. They played Western really tight down the stretch. They pulled away late. But, again, it was a 21-3 game also. Pretty quickly, that game there were a few.
Yeah, that third quarter was probably the scary part of it.
Yeah.
After that, it was the fourth quarter was over.
Well, look, I don't think there's a threat here for an upset. But Booner, I'm going to go to you.
Yeah.
What's the play here? 34.5-point favorites. Where we put in our money?
I don't. 34. I try and stay away from, like I've mentioned before, these big spreads. I think, and I talked about it with Spencer a couple days ago, that the over/under here, when you're looking at Michigan State with Peyton Thorne, he missed some passes last week that I think he makes this week. We saw the weapons he has: 4 touchdowns, 4 different receivers. I think versus Akron, that this offense just kind of takes off, and it's like a get-right game for them and Michigan State and these receivers and Peyton Thorne. The running game's going to, like they already were rolling, but they're going to keep it going. So I like over 56. I wrote a blog today, and I put that in there as my overplay, is Michigan State Akron over 56. It's just I think this is going to be a blowout. If Akron maybe gets 7-10 points, then you're looking at, I think Michigan State hits 48 plus or almost 50 points versus Akron team, because I think it's a get-right game after the game versus Western, and they need to put points up.
Hey, they scored 35 last week in a tough game against Western. I'm with Booner.
So my question for you guys: I'm a big fan of the first half spread.
Yep.
That's one of my go-to bets. In this situation, not only with Michigan State, but I'll even bring it back to Michigan too. Are we confident in a halftime spread? Because that's what I took last week with Michigan State. They covered. I was very happy about it. The halftime spread this week, I want to say it's 20.5. I could be wrong.
For Michigan?
I like that.
I actually like it, because when I look at the spreads, I look at football numbers, and you look at 20.5. They're just 3 touchdowns. Right. I look at the football numbers there. That's exactly. I really like that. I think they're going to come off really hot. They're going to start hot, and I mean, 21 points is not.
Yeah,
I mean,
3 touchdown lead and before halftime.
It's 21.5.
Yeah. Oh, 21.5. Okay. I still don't.
But
hate
you get
it
it at plus odds, right?
Yep.
So every dollar you spend, you're getting $1.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate that. The first half, I usually go with that. I know Scott on Woodward Bet's team. He does first half a lot. He actually is doing Michigan's first half today. So that's actually that's a good bet. I like that one.
What is Michigan's first half?
What is it?
What is Michigan's first half?
It's probably like
I believe
40.
Here, let me get this.
No, I'll pull it up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Michigan's first half spread is going to be, it doesn't even show it. It's just the first half totals at 38.5 points total. It doesn't even give Michigan a spread. Interesting.
Yeah, he had it yesterday. I think it might have been like 28 if I remember correctly. But it sounds like they took it down.
right.
That sounds fair. I mean,
Yeah.
I could totally see Michigan up 35-0 at halftime.
Yep,
Yeah,
especially with
100%.
JJ starting. I don't
They're
see
going to
how they
score
don't.
every drive. I
Yeah.
really believe
Yeah,
that.
hit me too.
I don't think they're going to have much trouble going down the field. But let's go around. Let's go around college football for a little bit before we get into Ohio State, because I do want to get to the Ohio State game a little later. Alabama, Texas. That is quite the matchup. I think everyone's excited. Quinn Ewers, starting quarterback for Texas, former Ohio State quarterback, #1 recruit, coming out of college, or excuse me, coming out of high school. Bama. Should we be worried? 21.5-point favorites. Booner, you mentioned before the show, you're talking yourself into taking Texas to cover.
Yep.
3 touchdowns. A lot of points.
Yep.
But against that defense, I don't think Texas has the defense to even keep the game close.
And Texas has, don't they have, correct me if I'm wrong, I was reading a little bit on the game. They have like 2 freshman offensive linemen starting the game
They do. Yep.
against Will Anderson.
That was the one thing that worried me too when I was looking at it was they have last year they were the worst offensive line in college football, I believe, and then they have 2 freshmen now to try and build it up a bit, but it's still a young offensive line. The only thing I like with it, and the thing that's keeping me in it, is I think Texas does get 21. They get 2 or 3 touchdowns with the weapons that they have with Quinn Ewers, Beydoun Robinson. We saw him last week, and he was electric. He can get it on the ground. He can catch a ball and make a play. So I think that alone might keep them within 2 or 3 touchdowns. And then at the end of the game, hopefully, I was just looking at like a 41-20 game, and if it's at plus 21.5, I'll take that all day. 3 touchdowns.
I could see that too. That's a tough one to call. Like, he just made a great point too. I was leaning to Alabama to cover, but again, like what he just said too, like there's enough weapons I think to even get 2 scores for Texas. Just depends on Will Anderson. If
it's
he's
not just Will Anderson though.
It's so hard
guys,
with that
I know it's
defense.
early, and Mike, I really want to know what you think. But that defense, again, they didn't play anybody in the week 1. It was Utah State, whatever. My God, that looks like Georgia last year.
Oh, they have a good
No?
defense.
Yeah.
They have a really good defense.
It's ridiculous. Fuck Will Anderson. God. So much talent, man.
I know, but 17.5 sacks last year.
I know.
Holy hell, dude.
All right, well, look, I think one of the games people are dying for is Tennessee on the road, 24-ranked Tennessee on the road against number 17-ranked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, the underdogs. And not only the underdogs, boys, we can buy these motherfuckers at plus 190 or plus 184. Right now, you download the FanDuel app on your fucking phone. Plus 184 for a ranked home team who is ranked ahead of the team that are coming to visit them.
That's what, yeah.
I mean, look, again, I've been tricked before. I'm not perfect. I don't make all my bets, all right? But Jesus Christ, looking at that to me is free money. And I know this is college football, by the way, but a lot of you that are watching right now watch the shows. I'm sure you watch the NFL. The Lions right now are damn near plus 200. I put $1,000 on it this morning before the show. I'm going to regret it. Having said that, back to the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game. Booner, what's the play here? Is it take the odds, or do we really think Tennessee is really going to come in here and roll?
No, I'm on Pittsburgh today. When I wrote my blog for the picks this week and my dog of the week, and I never thought I would put a dog of the week that has a higher ranking than the team they're playing, and I have Pittsburgh at plus 130. I take that all day at home. They're coming off a win versus a rivalry game with the backyard brawl, but I don't see this Pittsburgh team losing a game at home there. They're a good football team with Narduzzi. Keaton Slovis was decent last week, and I think he needs to have a big week versus Tennessee this week. The only thing with Tennessee is they have a hooker there at quarterback, and he had a really good week 1. So that's the only thing that scares me. But Pittsburgh underdogs at home, number 17 team underdogs I'm taking them all day. I'm rolling with them.
I'm curious to see Pitt this week too, because you saw last week Keaton Slovis got sacked 5 times. The offense, it looked like a quarterback who just got there. I mean, obviously he transferred. So I'm curious to see how Pittsburgh bounces back week 2. But to say they're underdogs at home, like I'm with Booner. Like I like Pitt. I mean, they scored 40 on West Virginia last week. So, but Tennessee's also very good. But I'm gonna lean with Pittsburgh too. I like it. I like them, especially at plus what?
You guys are really
200?
talking me into Pittsburgh now.
Plus 185, you said?
84.
So it's moved. Yesterday I saw that plus 130 when I wrote the blog. So plus 180, I like it.
Well,
I still like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. I think Tennessee's really good. I think Tennessee is probably better. They're probably better and more physical than Pittsburgh. I think I'm sticking with Tennessee on this game. I don't like it. The line is way too good, too good to be true. I think we forget Tennessee is in the SEC.
They're minus 6-point favorites. You think they'll?
They're a touchdown favorite, yeah.
Yep.
They're a touchdown favorite. They should be. And okay. So by the way, I am being very biased right now because I think Pitt's coach is a bitch because of his off-season comments on Michigan State. So he can suck my dick. So I hope they get blown up by 40. So everybody smash the over and smash Tennessee to cover. Those are my thoughts on that game.
Booner tried telling you.
Well, you know what, Booner, you brought this up before. A lot of people in the chat are bringing up this game. I offered to shave my chest with the letters B, Y, and U if they beat Baylor tonight. It's not going to happen. But Booner, what's the bet? They're 2.5-point favorites right now, BYU.
Yep.
I bought Baylor at 4.5, so I'm happy I'm not touching the game anymore.
Yep.
But they are missing 2 wide receivers now. How are we feeling about the game?
I'm against you with this one. I'm on BYU. I just think BYU has one of the toughest atmospheres to play in college football. Going there, last year they played Baylor. They lost at Baylor. But going to BYU is just a different monster. I don't see how it's going to be a close game. I think BYU just wins this game, and at 2.5, I'll take that a field goal. So I'm against you on this one. I don't have chest hair to shave in Baylor or anything, but we can make a friendly bet. We can figure something out here. I'll take BYU though. I don't see how they lose at home. They're 6-1 at home last year, and then the one loss they had, they actually beat Utah at home last year, a ranked team. Utah came in, and they beat them at home. So that's a big win right there. I just think any team that comes in, it's a tough atmosphere. If it's a close game, the atmosphere leans towards BYU on that one.
All right. Here's what we have. I have a situation where my chest hair is on the line, and I don't appreciate your comments. All right? Mikey, BYU, Baylor, who's winning?
I'm going to lean Baylor on this one.
God bless you.
Yeah.
My
not
chest
a fan
hair
of
thanks you very
BYU.
much.
Me and Jeff were talking about them being ranked way too low to start off the season, too. So
yeah.
Fair enough. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
This is a tough one for me. BYU at home. Part of me does want to just roll with BYU. It really does. Even though Baylor, obviously the higher ranked team. I mean, BYU though, they looked good last week, and I think playing at home they're gonna look good. I'm gonna roll with BYU. I think minus 2.5. I think they get it done by a touchdown. I mean, I'll take those odds.
All right, a lot of blowouts happening this week. Clemson playing Furman, Georgia playing Samford. God help Samford, they're all going to die. Notre Dame playing Marshall, that's going to be a blowout. Ohio State, Arkansas State, that's a blowout.
Yeah.
100%, they're 44.5-point favorites, so nothing there for us. Really, the next game I want to talk about is my boys out in Southern Cal. On the road, Stanford, their first conference game under Lincoln Riley. Boys, they're 9.5-point favorites. You get it for even money. How are we feeling about USC, Jeff?
USC, man. Like, this is a team we talk about a lot on the morning show, a team that I believe will eventually be contending for a national championship because Lincoln Riley, of Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, and they're going to keep bringing in recruits. It is, the first year. They still got a lot of work to do. I think they need more talent defensively. I think they're still solid defensively, but I got USC going out. I mean, they're minus 8.5 against Stanford. I think they cover that. I think they win by over a touchdown at least. So give me USC. They look damn good, and Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, chemistry's still there, just a different school. So, and they got Jordan Addison, who actually didn't play that well last week. So, look for him to have a bounce back game. What about you, Booner?
Yeah, this is my biggest play of the day. This is my hammer play. I love this game. I'm shocked that USC is only 9.5 point favorites. It's insane. And I saw it last night. I saw it at -8 at a point. So I don't know what's going on with the line there, but the thing is USC has gone to the last 5 games they played on the road versus Stanford. They've lost 4 of them. But the thing is this is a whole different USC program.
Way different.
Lincoln Riley's here. In their defense, they've just loaded up on transfers. I saw something to where they have like the #1 transfer like defense that's coming in. So I'm rolling with USC today at -9.5. It's a football number again. I keep saying the football numbers. It's a touchdown and a field goal there. I think that they win this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns, to be honest, and they roll Stanford.
I don't mind it. I like USC a lot. Maybe that's just me. I'm still drinking the USC Kool-Aid, but at the same time, I like them. I mean, to be honest, seeing this line, I mean, I know I'm on ESPN. It's -8.5. I don't know what you said it was.
-9.5.
Right? 9.5.
I would still take that.
Yep.
I think they'll win by a touchdown and a field goal for sure. What about you, Adam?
All right, fair enough. No, I'm rolling with
Let's
USC
go.
100%.
All right, we're good.
100%.
All in mutual.
USC is one of my teams. I think if they can get past Utah and Oregon, I mean, they're going to run the table.
They'll squeeze right in.
Granted, they play Notre Dame, but I don't think Notre Dame has the offense to compete with any of these teams. Lincoln Riley, year 1 in the Pac-12, might just get to a college football playoff. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know
You look at the schedule. I'm sorry, the Pac-12 isn't all that threatening. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, one of the best receivers in the country, one of the best offenses in the country. We know we're going to get 40, 50, 60 points a game out of this team. It's whether or not their defense can stand up to a Utah, an Oregon, a Notre Dame. So far in the 1-game sample size, their defense had 2 defensive touchdowns. That was impressive. But, again, it was against a bunch of nobodies. So what does that mean? Much? Doesn't mean much. Do I think they're going to win in a college football playoff battle or get to a championship game? Probably not. But they have outside of Clemson, they have one of the easier roads to a college football playoff berth. And they can be a 1-loss Pac-12 champion. Let's keep that into context as well. Watch out. Watch out for USC, baby. On to the next game. So one of the things that pisses me off, by the way, about college football Saturdays is when my team has to play at 4 o'clock and then the other team that I have to watch is at 8 o'clock. Like, what happened to noon, 11? Like, we could have done this show at freaking noon. Got to be here at 10 in the goddamn morning. Appalachian State, Texas A&M. We're seeing an upset, boys? I'm joking.
I knew you were. I knew you
Florida and Kentucky. Did we talk about that? No.
Appalachian State are only 18.5 point dogs on the road to the sixth best team in the country right now. You want to take a line? Appalachian State, they put up points last week. Really a dumb play away from winning. North Carolina walked away very fortunate. What do we think about Appalachian State against Texas A&M? Who is an unproven product, by the way. They just recruit really well.
I like Texas A&M. I mean, what are they right now? You said 18 and a half?
18 and a half.
Yeah, I just like them. I like them. I think they're more complete than Appalachian State. And look at the opponents they faced, too. Like, even last week, App State took on USC, got obliterated. Or no, they didn't. 63-61. They can score. Yep. Just defensively, can you put up – I mean, Texas A&M just put up 31-27. I think offensively, I don't think App State's going to have an answer to this offense. And I think Texas A&M will have a better defense. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M on this one. And I think they cover.
All right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The App State game last week was crazy. It was one of the honestly crazier college football games we'll probably see of the year, 63-61.
Yeah, sure.
And in the second half, I believe App State just went on a run and put up a ton of points. But the Texas A&M, last week they scared me a little bit. I took their spread, and they started off, it was like almost halftime, and it was like 7-0. But I just think their defense is too much for App State. Even though they can score, they might get a couple touchdowns, but I think Texas A&M just runs away with this one. I don't think there's any upset or anything in this one.
Iowa State, Iowa. I think that's a great game to take Iowa State, considering how bad Iowa looked week 1.
Dude,
thoughts?
Yeah. I'm with you. Offensively, yeah, you're right on that.
I'm hammering the under on that one as well. I'm hammering. It was at 40 yesterday. I'm hammering that under. Last week it was a 7-3 game, and you could say that Iowa State's coming in and they're gonna they're going to score a couple touchdowns, and Iowa's got to keep up. But realistically, it's going to be a 21-17 game. It's going to be a field goal game. Iowa's just going to run the ball, long possession. So I'm rolling with the under in that game, under 40.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, we're going to wrap up with going around the room for our best picks of the day. All right? Your 3 games, must watch, must have, take them, leave them. I don't care if it's the money line. I don't care if it's the spread. You give me your 3 best games. They are locks. I'll start. We're going to take USC in the points. We're taking Michigan State to cover at halftime. And I'm sorry, Booner. I'm really sorry. Baylor on the money line against BYU. Not going to happen. Booner, what are your games?
So the 3 I'm looking at here, I'm going to start off just by going, I'll just address it right away. BYU -2.5. They win by a field goal, so we're head-to-head on this one. When we get done here, we'll figure a bet out. We'll figure something out for next week. But I love BYU -2.5. Another one I do like here is I love Kentucky +6.5.
That's what I was looking at.
Versus Florida. It's such a letdown spot for Florida this week, in my opinion. Coming off such an emotional win in the Swamp with Bill Napier coming in, his first game in Florida. I love Kentucky. I like Will Levis, and I think he has to prove it that he's an NFL prospect this week. And it's one of the bigger games. And when you look at it, too, that Utah game last week with Florida, Utah is not used to playing SEC opponents every single week like a Kentucky team is. And Kentucky beat Florida last year. I think Kentucky comes in and they definitely cover. So Kentucky +6.5, and then the last one, I'm with you, Adam. I'm gonna roll with USC in the points. That's my hammer play of the day. That's my biggest play of the day. USC -9.5. I think that's an automatic lock there. So I'm rolling with that one. Those 3 right there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't do Adam's bets and I don't do Woodward bets, so I don't think the people want to hear what I have to say. But I will say, I'm with you guys. I was looking at the Kentucky versus Florida game, and honestly, the more and more I think about it, I know we talked about the points at halftime for Michigan State. Yep. Like, that's more and more intriguing as we keep talking. But, yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's tough, but at the same time, I know everyone's talking about Anthony Richardson as the next Lions quarterback. God, if you go on Twitter, you can check that out.
Killing me.
But, yeah, no, I like Kentucky, man, especially Florida as 6-point favorites. I think that's a sneaky bet.
Fair enough. Mikey? JJ McCarthy over under 17 touchdowns.
over. And I'm taking Akron money line.
10 on the ground, 7 in the air.
Akron money line all day.
Oh, man. I love it. All right, what should we be looking for, Mikey? What's your game to bet on?
I do like let me pull up my slip here. I did take Baylor money line. Gotta love it. I have the USC -9.5 right now, and then I have Texas A&M -18.5. I like that one as well. And I did get Alabama when they were -20. So,
yeah. All right, just incoming breaking news.
What?
A friend of mine just texted me.
Oh no.
He just wagered $20,000 on Alabama money line. To win only $1,428. Oh no!
What could go wrong?
I like the pin
what
money
could
line
go
too.
wrong?
I know we briefly brought that up, but I think that'd probably be my favorite bet.
Easiest $1,000 you could ever make in your life, but you have to spend so much to get it. But whatever.
You don't have to spend a lot to,
ladies and gentlemen,
make some money off Pitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I think 10 a.m. is a good start.
Oh yeah,
we can push it to 11 next week if we want to, but I'm feeling it 10 a.m. We'll have Reynolds back next week, so we'll get all the Michigan hot takes. Mikey, thank you so much.
Yes.
Booner, thank you as well. Jeff, you're the best as always. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Enjoy your day of college football. Jesse Adams, you know who you are. BYU going down, buddy. I'm not shaving my chest.
Go
Don't
blue.
worry. Baylor are
blue.
going to win just fine. JJ McCarthy makes his debut as a Michigan starting quarterback tonight. Watch out, people. We'll see you on Sunday.